So let's review it's called the truth table. So again, the logical AND operator looks at the operands on either of its side and returns true only if both statements are true. Diba? If even just one of the two statements is false, the logical AND will return false. So if we're going to use AND, here's the thing. If both A and B are true, okay? So if both A and B are true, then A and B is true, diba? However, if one of them is false, let's say for example, A is true, B is false, then the statement is false. And if A is false and then B is true, then the entire thing is false. If both of them are false, then the statement is false. Alright, so that's how we're going to determine the condition, whether if it's true or not. Next, alright, we'll proceed with this example in just a moment. Let's proceed to the truth table for OR. So the logical OR operator works similarly to the AND operator. The difference is OR will return true if either, okay, again, either of the operands is true. The OR operator will only return false if both operands are false. So at least na ay usa na true, then the statement will be true. Pero if both of them are false, then the statement is false. For example, if both A and B is true, then A or B is true as well. If A and B, if A is true, B and B is false, still true ra gyapon because either man, meaning bisag usara. Okay? If A is false and then B is true, then A or B is true. But if A and B are false, then A or B is false. Do you follow?
Yes.
So again, sa AND nga truth table,
Yes,
is
sir.
make sure nga both of the operands are true, but sa OR, bisag usa lang. However, for false, here's the thing. If A is true, then not A is false. If A is false, then not A is true. Go ahead, Gideon. Do you have any question?
Sir, pwede pa rin siya maggamit kag binary sa dili ning true or false kay ang binary true or false mangyapon sa
Oh, actually, this is binary, diba? When you say binary, it only involves two options.
on and
like,
off.
Yeah, on or off, yes or no, true or false, 1 or 0, diba? What about when you say 1 or 0, something that has, what about naa o wala, na ba? That's 1 or 0. That's what we mean by not and 0. That's the foundation of the computer language, ones and zeros. So true or false, on or off, isa pa man, yes or no. So this is called binary. So again, if we're going to use not, then for example, if not true, or if A is true, then not A is false. Basically, it's the exact opposite. If A is false, then not A is true. Alright, so let's take a look at the example. Let's start with the AND. So this program will display if the applicant is qualified for the job. The age limit, alright, so this is the operands, this is the condition. The age limit is 18 to 25 years old. So 18 to 25. So diri na ta magkamaog condition that the student must be at least 18 and must be at least 18 and not more than 25 years old. All right, so that is how we're going to set the condition. So let's say for example the applicant's age is 24. All right, let's check. Is 24 greater than or equals to 18?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, because minimum man siya, di ba? So this is true. The first condition, we have true. And then for the second one, ang maximum is 25. So therefore, it should be less than, di ba? Less than or equals to, because we're talking about the maximum age. So 24 less than or equals to 25?
Yes, sir.
Okay, true. So therefore, based on the truth table, so since both of the operands are true, so we have true, then pasar ba ang qualified ba ang applicant?
Yes, sir.
All right. So since both of the statement is true, then this the A and B is true. Therefore, the applicant is qualified. So let's check. So how do we write that down? how do we create a program? Let me open up the C++ real quick. All right, please take note, guys, because we will have an activity during our face-to-face class regarding logical operators as well. Uy, Visual Studio Code man akong i-open. Alright, let's create a new program. Again, those last time na pati mga naglibog sa gamit of Dev C++. So again, we'll start with file, go over to new, go to project, make sure console application is selected, make sure that C++ project is selected, and type in your your file name. So kung maadto ta sa eskwelahan, just type in your family name or your name for that matter. So in my case, let me just call it logical operator. And let me save it right here. And let's start. Alright, so let me write it down using namespace std int main. Alright, so again, we are going to create a program that will display if the applicant is qualified for the job. The age limit is 18 to 25. So that means if the age is less than 18, then the applicant is no longer qualified, or if more than 25 the sila, di na sila qualified. So again, the age limit is only from 18 to 25. So we are going to create our, let's say for example, we will use input and output. Okay, every time that we're going to create a program, it must be using input and output. So we will use an integer that's for the age. That's our variable 1. And then we're going to create an output saying please enter your age. Okay, so cout. Alright, and after that, asa itong sunod buhaton para makuha na to ang age?
CN.
Asa na to ibutang?
Age.
Age. Alright. Okay, so once we enter the age, we're going to create the condition. So if we're going to set the condition, so age is, sa ganito, let's write it down here. Age must be 18 to 25 years old only to be qualified. Okay, so that's our goal. This is our goal, that the applicant must have at least 18 to 25 years old only to be qualified. So let's set our first condition. Age is isa lang siguro. Let's start with the 18. Make sure na at least 18 siya. So it's gonna be
Age is greater than or equal to 18.
greater than or equals to 18. Meaning, mas dako dapat siya sa 18 or pareha ba siya sa 18. And then the second condition is, alright, so that's the time that we're going to use and. So duwa ka ampersand, and then age is
less than or equal to
less than or
25.
equals to 25. Alright, so nganong 18, nganong greater than and equals to 18 man, guys? Go ahead, Gideon.
Okay ra. Usara ka age ang ibutang, sir.
Dayon unsa man, sige. Usa ka age niya, unsa may ibutang nimong age?
Kaning age is less kaning greater than or equal to 18 and age is less than or equal to 25. Okay ra usara ibutang.
Unsa may imong usang ibutang? Unsa man nimo?
Kani bang age, sir?
Kani kas ara gamiton? Ana?
Yes, sir.
Let's check. Alright, let's check. But for meantime, let's put it. Kunyarag mura na itong program ato na sila yan, ha? Okay idea if mo gana pa na or dili, but let's try.
Okay, sir.
Alright, so that's our first condition. So if the applicant is 18, alright, if kani siya na-meet ni siya, if both of these conditions or operands are true, then it will say cout you are qualified for the job. Meaning, qualified, pwede na siya magpadayon sa interview or something like that. Alright. So, if false siya, then we're going to create a program that says, we're going to create the else statement that will say, if wala niya na-meet, then it will say, sorry, you are not qualified. Alright, sakto ba ang codes? So first is we set a condition if age is greater than or equals to 18 and age is less than or equals to 25. That means the applicant should only be at least 18 and maximum of 25. Okay, let's save that. Let's save it right here. Logical operator. Save that. Execute to run your program to check whether it's working. Click execute, compile and run. Alright, so please enter your age. Let's say ang edad sa applicant is 24. So it will say, you are qualified for the job. Let's check. Is 24 greater than or equals to 18?
Yes, sir.
Alright, next. Is
Yes, sir.
24 is less than or equals to 25?
Yes.
True.
Yes,
Therefore,
sir.
since both of these operands are true, then the if statement is executed. That means this statement is true as well. Alright, so let's try again. Execute, compile, and run. And let's enter kanang obvious. Let's say 26 na iyang edad. 26. Okay? Then it says here, sorry, you are not qualified for the job. Why is that so? Ngano man sigurong naingon man siya? Ngano false man siya?
Labaw na 25, sir.
Okay, so let's check. Let's check. So sa first operand, is 26 greater than or equals to 18?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
True. However, for the second one, is 26 less than or equals to 25?
No, sir.
No. Therefore, the statement is false. Alright, let's try this one more time to check for less than 18 daw. Let's compile and run. Let's test. Let's say, for example, ang iyang edad is 17 pa lang. Alright, it says here, sorry, you are not qualified for the job. Again, let's check. Is 17 greater than or equals to 18?
No, sir.
No na siya. So therefore, nasangit na siya daan. Although, 17 is less than 25, but still nasangit naman siya sa PCAS. Alright? So again, both of the operands must be true for the statement to be true. That's using AND. That's using AND operator. Go ahead, Anthony Rosales.
Sir, try daw itong suggest ni
Okay.
teacher.
Let's check. Let's remove it. I don't think this will work, but let's check. May error na siya. Hindi naman complete ang iyang operands. So make sure to add all the variables na kinahanglan, okay, for the condition. Because this right here is different condition or operands. After the logical operator, it's also another operand. Alright? Nakuha ra ang katong example, katong question? Okay na? Make sure
Yes,
to
sir.
add both to make sure na complete ang iyong condition every time. Alright, you might want to take a screenshot before we proceed. Alright. Next, let's try the or. Again, for or, either of the statement, bisag of either of the operands is true, then the statement is true. So, bisag usara ang true niya, the statement is true because we are giving them an option. However, it's only false if both of the statement is false. Let's try. This program will display if either of the person is of legal age. The legal age is 18 years old and above. Okay, so we have two person. We're going to create a program to check whether both of the person 1, person 2, or person A, person B, is nanay sa legal age. Again, we're going to create a program that will determine if both of the people, if either of the person is of legal age. So that, for example, kanang laag sani gamotor ka. Okay, this is a very good example. Gamotor ka, and we all know that those who are allowed to drive motorcycle is first they should be on a legal age. Sakto ba? I don't think so. But make sure nga at least naray usa nila nga daay driver's license. So kung usa na ang driver's license ang usa nga na ay professional driver's license, ang usa wala, it's okay. Di ba? So however, if both of the riders doesn't have any driver's license, then takpon sila. Something like that. So it's going to be the same scenario ba? Bisag usara ang option nga true, then the entire situation or statement is going to be true. However, if both the statement or both the operands are false, then that's the time that the statement will also be false. So again, we're going to create a program that will display if either of the person is of legal age. So kung usa nila is legal, then it will say both persons is legal age, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's create a program. Let's open up our dev C++. Hold on. Kadali lang. Okay, let me erase all of this, guys, okay? Okay na, erase na ako.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so person 1, let's say P1, age of, let's say P1, person 1 is equals to, or ano lang, and then another int for age for person 2. Alright, we have two variables. So next is we will let the user enter the age for person 1 and person 2. So we will use cout, enter the age of the first person. Alright, and cn, ato siyang i-save sa age person 1. Right, after that we'll add another cout or output that says enter the age of the second person. And then asa nato siya save? Age person 2 na pata. Alright, so now that we have values for both person 1 and 2, we're going to create a condition na since we are using or, so our goal here is mo try rata nga bisag usara nila, then legal age, then the statement is true. So let's set our first condition. So if age person 1 is, again, legal age is 18 and above, diba?
Yes, sir.
Alright, is greater than or equals to 18. Okay, hold on. Okay, on the first one, let's use ikuan. Kung duwa sila mismo, puro sila legal, then it will say both the persons are of legal age. So first, we will use and lang sa. Age person 2 is greater than or equals to 18. Okay? Ha? Ano sa mes?
11 also, sir.
11. Ay, sorry. Thank you. All right. So for our first condition, we will use and. That means this only will be executed if both the person has 18 and above. Okay. So it will say cout both persons
Are in legal age.
That's true. Persons are. Sakto ba? Di ko sure sa grammar. Kamo na bahala guys ha. Ang grammar. Basta kay ato is functions na ato ang grammar. Kamo na bahala sa butan. Alright. That's for our first condition. So since we are using and, meaning this statement should be true and then this statement should be true so that this will be executed. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So for our second condition is we are going to use else if. This time we are going to use or. So either of the two. So let's say age person 1 is greater than or equals to 18, or Okay, it's shift backslash rather. Tapad siya sa kaning angle. Tapad siya aning key. Kani ba? Kana, tapad siya ana. So, or age person 2 is greater than or equals to 18. So therefore, bisag asa nila duwa si person 1 ba or si person 2, then it will say either of the person, either of
Either person
either person sa okay, either person is in legal age. All right, so either meaning na usa nila legal or something like that, or else if let's say for example ni enter ta of all less than 18, then it will say see out and neither of the person is in legal age. So let's check the grammar daw kadali para di ko ta maulawan. Okay, ato bin i-post. Uy,
minor.
Alright. Sige, legal age or minor. Pwede po. Alright, let me check the grammar real quick kadali guys ha. So dito maulawan i-post natin. Both person are in legal age. Let's copy this. Are off. Okay, so that's are off. So that means either person is kani yung grammar po siya for sure. Hold on. Alright. Kabalo mo unsang pag-check og grammar online for free?
Yes, sir.
Alright, go to Alright, this will help you a lot with your projects. Go to appgrammarly.com or ano lang, i-google rin ninyo ng demo.grammarly.com. Make sure to create your own account or sign up. Ganahan mo ka ng full nga version jud like mo help siya ninyo o create og mga kuan how to write na ba nga kanang nindot paminahon. You can sign up. Medyo mahal lang.
Yes, sir. Nasa sa akong phone, sir. Phone built-in na siya, sir.
Oh, pwede po ka mo-upload. So again, go to demo.grammarly.com and then automatic man siyang sulod good. Try lang mo demo.grammarly.com or if dili ni siya magawas kani siya, dire i-paste ninyo inyong document dire. Let's say for example, kani kadua ikatulo. Kana, let's check this. So, generate siya, yang i-calculate. Okay, now grammatical options here. So, instead of in, use of. And that's it. That's correct grammar na. So, copy this. This would be the correct grammar. Again, demo.grammarly.com. Alright. So, let's check. Let's save that. And then, execute, compile, and run. Okay, nalimutag butang certain 0, but it's okay since we only have one function. So, enter the age of the first person. Let's say, for example, 18 ang usa is 27 ang usa, then it will say both persons are of legal age. Which condition was executed? Asa nga condition na i-execute? Ang and, katong if, diba? Since both of the condition are true, more than 18, more than or equals, or greater than or equals, and then greater than and equals ang ikadua. Alright, so let's try it again. Execute, compile, and run. Let's say, for example, the first one is 17, and then the second one is 27. It says here, either person is of legal age. What again na save? Is of legal age. Okay, so let me check if this is a correct grammar.
Is of legal age, sir.
Dara. Either person is of legal age. May let's try again. Execute, compile, and run. Okay, so first is 17 and then the second is 27. Then it executes the second condition, which is using OR, diba? So let's check. The first person is 17. Is first person greater than or equals to 18? Okay.
No.
False.
No, sir.
Alright. Second one. Is 27 greater than or equals to 18?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes, sir.
Now, since based on the truth table, ang truth table sa OR is that if either of bisag usa lang, so
Usa
it's
ang
A
true.
false and B is true. Since usa lang is then the statement is true. That's why it was executed. That's the reason why either person is of legal age, which is else if, is executed because the statement is true. All right. So let's say last. Let's say ang edad sa duha ka tawo is let's say 16. And 16 po ang 15 ang usa, then it will say neither of the person is of legal age, meaning they are still minor. We are the else was executed is because both of these operands are false. Puro siya false. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions? Kinsa to? Anthony Rosales, go ahead.
Sir, saan nga lang ang symbol sa or, sir? Saan na siya nga
Bar?
symbol, sir?
Bar? Let me check. It's called bar, I think. No. Bar key.
Wala ko yung shortcut, sir.
Nasa yung keyboard, guys. Nasa yung keyboard. Let me open up.
Wala sa akong keyboard, sir.
Unsa ang keyboard imong gamit application? Unsa sa cellphone na?
Laptop, sir.
Laptop. Ang bar is kanang usually below the backspace.
Wala ko siya, sir, dahil wala ko kay ko back ko ay. Wala kay ko yung backslash, pero ako ra siyang alt 92 sa backslash. Dahil, unsa na siya? Bar na siya, sir? Ako
Bar.
yung alt, sir. Kinaham na yung shortcuts.
Okay,
Ay,
let me
na
check.
ko. Na ay shift keys ba? Controller.
Let me check. Control L daw. Control L. Di magod. Alright, at i-google na to. One two four. Alt 124. Alt 124. Alt 124. Okay, Alt 124.
Yes, sir. Nana, sir. Okay na, sir.
Alright, those who doesn't have bar keyboard bar key on their keyboard, Alt 124.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Alright, do you have any questions so far with both and or? Nasabtan ra, guys?
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Sir,
So,
pwede tayo screenshot, sir.
ha? Screenshot. Ay, oh. Let me zoom it out. Let me add the return 0. Okay. Kana, take your screenshot na. Okay na?
Yes, sir.
Alright, last.
Sir.
The program will display if either the person... Hold on. Okay. Dara. This program will display if a user is allowed to access a certain website. A restricted website, kumbaga. A user must be at least 18 years old and above. Save ako ang example dali. But again, this program will display if the user will allow the user to continue to access a certain website, let's say restricted website. You know what I mean? And then a user must be at least 18 years old and above. That's why sometimes if you visit restricted website, The first thing that it will display is, are you 18 years old? Bata mo na na.
Yeah.
Era magsaba unsa na
Murag.
nga websites, pero sometimes if you visit a website, it will say, are you 18 of years? Make sure you're okay. You should be at least 18 years old and above to continue the access, something like that. So that's what we're going to do.
Sana na, sir.
Mm.
Ang katong ng kuan, sir. Kabalo ko.
Ay,
Wako di anak.
Kabalo kuan, sir.
Sana na, restricted site, sir.
Kani wala ni. Example rin siya nako. Example kani mismo. Example na siya. Alright, pero na yung mga website that will not allow 18 years old and below. Let's say katong mga auctions ng mga website, they're only allowing 18 above. In fact, mga online shops, you must be at least 18 years old and above para maka-account, di ba? Alright. So that's the thing. We're going to create a program to determine whether alright, kanila dili na ako ni buhaton, basta here's the example. So, if ang age niya is not less than or equals to 17, alright, so di ba, usually, okay, kung tangtangon na to ang age, then, for example, ang age niya is 24. Alright, dili na ako ni buhaton kay arong badalita. If ang age sa user is 24, the condition that we set is not age, meaning kung ang iyang age is greater than or equals to 17. So, if tangtangon na to ang not, let's check if tangtangon sa nato ang not ba? Kani. So, kumbaga, age is less than or equals to 17. Is 24 less than or equals to 17?
No, sir.
Okay.
No. Therefore, if tangtangon na to ang not, is this condition will be executed? Kani? May execute ba ni siya?
No.
Sir.
Hey, guys.
No, sir.
Let's try again. Ang age sa user nato is 24. And sa condition, tangtangon nato ang not, it says here, age must be less than or equals to 17. Is 24 less than or equals to 17?
Dili, sir.
No, sir.
No.
Sir.
Therefore, is this statement will be executed?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
May mo siyang else. Alright? Therefore, okay. However, if you will change it into not, okay, not equals age, erase all sign. However, if you will change it to not age, so that means it's the opposite na. So, mahimo na ni siya false automatically. So, mahimo siyang not age is less than or equals to 17. Ganina, false, since false man siya ganina, this time, since we're using not age, then, di ba, sa truth table, if false, mahimo siyang true, and true mahimo false, correct?
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Name
Since,
siya
Negate.
opposite, sir.
alright. So, since false man siya ganina, gihimo na tong not, gihimo na to siyang not age, therefore, mahimo siyang
True.
kasi witabo, mahimo siyang true. Alright? Therefore, this will be executed. Again, the purpose of not kani siya, ang purpose ra jud ani niya is to change the value from negative to positive, positive to negative. So for example, naka-create na ka og condition and you decided nga ay valid di ay, di ba? Then you can either repeat all of it, pwede nimo usbon tanan, or you can use not because it will
Mo
change the
negation,
value.
sir.
Yeah. Kuan siya. That's true, negation. That's true. That's actually true. It's called negation. So, ang iyang positive may mong negative, ang iyang positive may mong negative. Alright? Okay? So, ano lang. Do you have any questions so far with the logical operators? Okay? So, just make sure, just take a look at the truth table. Yan siguro ang pinakasayon para mas matimaan nato. How do we create conditions using the different operators? Just take a look on the truth table. So again, for AND, both A and B should be true so that the statement is true. If either one of them is false, then the statement is false. That's using AND. If OR, then both statement, either of the statements should be true, then the statement will be true. Pero if puro na siya false, then the entire statement is going to be false. For not, then it's just the opposite. that's true, it's called negation. So if the statement or like the statement is if the operand is true, then not version niya kanang butangan nimo not nimo siyang false, and the same case the other way around. All right. So that's all for the logical operator. Dali lang siya. So we'll proceed with another topic which is also relatively easy ra gyapon. So for us to be able to prepare for our next topic, that's why we discuss logical operators, because this time we'll talk about what we call nested operators. Okay lang ba? Discuss one more topic before we end. Gamay ra siya nga topic gyapon.
Okay ra, sir.
Pero sir,
Arong duwa atong ka-topic. So in face to face ta ay sa to face to face kanilang sa ato i-focus sa atong face to face nga klase next week. But for your assignment, we'll be focusing on both this and the next topic, which is called nested if statement. Alright, let me open that up real quick.
Sir,
Go ahead.
sir, ni screen recording ka ni sir. Yung may upload.
Yes.
Di na-late ko gano'n na sir.
Na kaso po akong screen recording kay nanako sa kuan. Wala ko ka-start from the very beginning ba. Dire na ako nag-start sa nalimot man ko, dire na ako. Human ako discuss sa and if but at least sa discussion ko matong part. So it's okay. I think you'll be able to understand still because while we're doing the examples, dito na ko sa examples nakasugod og record. So anyway, since we are doing our examples, i-discuss naman gyapon ko nako kung sa pang purpose sa and sa or sa not. So yes, I'm recording right now, and then I'm going to upload this later on. Alright, so let's proceed. Okay, so nested if statement. So first of all, what do we mean by nested? Alright, so in our past lesson, katong last week, we learned about conditional statements. We have 3 statements that we discussed. It's if, else if, and else. Conditional statement is a set of rules performed if a certain condition is met or is true. So again, if, else if, and else are examples of conditional statement. Napailaing conditional statements aside from this that will be discussed in our future lesson. So how do we write the if, else statement? So first is we'll write if, that's the very first one, and then set the condition. And then else if, and then write the second condition. And then if mahurot na tanan nimo mga conditions, write else just in case everything is false. Alright, so again, else is for false. May mo siyang closing. Murabag, siya na mo'y end game ba? Kumbaga, kung sa imuha pa ng si else mo na siya, kung nakay uyabron, ganang kay mahimo siyang else. Meaning siya na ang end game. Okay? Ang mahitabo, mahimo ra kang any other option, mahimo ra kang any other ifs. Di ba? Manay katong sa hugot nato sa first topic is that mahirap maging else at taong palagi kang if. Because we all want to be somebody's else, meaning we all want it to be someone's last. Diba? Else man ang last. We don't want anybody's another if. Alright? So the nested if statement, however, first of all, what do you mean by nested? Okay, so when we heard the word nest, let's try to describe what are nests. Ano siya pasabot, anak? Diba? Sa mga salag man na siya? Salag man na itawag na dire?
yes sir.
Salag na sa mga sa yungon. So I'm not sure sa Bais. So I think it's salag. So unsay naasulod sa nests? Usually little birds. Alright. So basically it's the same case. So the nested if statement in programming is placing another if statement inside another if statement. So once you already created an if statement, nanapuilain nga if statement inside your if statement. So that's why it's called nested if. It's because it is an if statement inside another if. Do you follow?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
So this will allow the program to check the condition inside a condition. Here is a syntax for nested statement in C++. Alright, let me erase all of this. Okay, so first is we created our parent if statement. So we if and then condition. Now, if this condition is true, na ay follow up. Na ay follow up na if. Murabag kung tinuod ni kaning true ni nga if this statement is true, then napuy lain nga follow up. Mura ba ginana ba? But this follow-up condition will only be executed if the parent condition is true. So again, mo come up rata aning nested if the first condition or the parent if is already true. Okay? So for example, if this statement is true, then na siya follow up. Let's call it follow up condition. Now, this expression to execute if the condition is true, and then else if the condition is true, and then same thing gyapon else. All right? So mura ka gagama ka og if statement inside another if statement. But katong nested if statement will only be executed if the parent condition is true. All right? So the nested if statement can be placed in either if, else if, or else statement. Pwede na ito ibutang sa if, pwede sa else if, pwede na ito ibutang sa else. Okay? Nagets na ba niyo ang idea? Mura kag follow up kag question ba? Mura kag ang teacher niyo ni question, then pag ingong yes, then na siya follow up na question ba? But the follow up question will only be done if you answered yes. Na ba? So mura pag sa kwan pa kung sa exam pa mo yung ka nga kada ba mo yung ka nga if yes, then explain. For example, mo gama og exam ang teacher and it's something about a true or false. Then if true, explain. If false, explain. Something like that. Then we're going to follow up. Alright. So let's take a look at the flow chart. So let's say the condition, if it's true, then statement. But inside this statement is another nested if. So this will only be executed, this nested if will only be executed if true po ni siya. So we have the nested if, and then statement, and then false statement. Okay, I'm not sure if this will make sense using flowchart, but try to analyze. And then if false, then go directly to end. Alright, I'm not sure if this will make sense to you guys, and I will not take the time to explain this, but try to examine, try to analyze it yourself, okay? On how the nested if works. So let's go ahead and create one. Let's take a look at example. The nested if statement will only be executed if the first if, okay, again, if the first if statement remains true. So again, ang nested if true ra gyapon siya kung ma-execute lang siya kung ang first nga if or parent if remains true. Let's say for example, this is the regular if statement. This program will determine whether or not the number is a positive integer or negative. Okay? So for example, the number is 5. The condition is if number 1 is greater than 1 or the variable num is greater than 1, that is to determine if it's positive or not, diba? If it's greater than 1. Greater than or equals to 1 rather. Then it will say num is a positive integer. Else, if ni-enter ta og less than 1, if false ni siya, then it will say, please enter a whole number. So that's how we do the if-else statement, right? The regular nga if-else statement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what if we're going to create another condition, which say, let's say for example, if ni-enter tag 5, the first condition is the number 5 is a positive integer. Now, we are going to determine of pila siya ka digits. That's the time that we are going to create an if statement. So for example, ganatang i-determine po after natin determine if it's a positive integer, we are also going to determine whether or not it is one digit number. So nanatay duwa ka goal. First is to check whether it's positive, and if it's positive, we are going to check if it's a one digit number. Di follow? Duwa na ka goal ang ato ang pangitaon. Again, first is to check if it's positive. And then second is we're going to check if it's one digit number. But we can only check if it's one digit number if it's positive. If it remains true. So we're going to create another program here, or we are going to create a nested if statement that after it says it's positive, we are going to check if it's one digit number. So we're going to create a condition that says if it's less than 10, then it's one digit number, diba? For example, ni-enter tag 5. Is this statement true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or else, please enter. Alright, let's try. Let's open up the C++. Alright. Okay. Kumana man kaya akong i-close.
Kaya pa, sir. Pasensya ko, sir.
Okay. Screenshot sa dali.
Wait, sir.
Dali na kayo ang nested if guys. Manang ato rang usaho na lang. Dali naman siya because we already know about if else naman. So since we already know about else if, we're going to it would be easier for us to discuss nested if.
Okay, sir. Salamat, sir.
Gideon, do you have any question?
Sir, sa nested if, pwede pa gyud ta magbutang pag yung nested if lain sa suludan,
Oh,
sir.
actually, there are no limits. Yes, inside a nested if, pwede pa dito mo add of lain pa dito na nested if. Depending,
So, depende ra gyud sa pag-layer na ako ang code.
depende po kung sa algorithm nimo. Alright?
Okay.
We'll try, karon murag, wala ko mahuna-hunaan ng mga possible program, but if naamoy mahuna-hunaan, please let me know. Kanang, for example, mo add ta og at least dua ka nested if, please let me know if naamoy mahuna-hunaan. Mura bag 3 goals ba? Kuha ka 3 goals. Alright, let me close this and let's start. New project, console, and this time let's call it nested if. Okay, same thing. We will use using namespace standard and then int main. All right. So again, we're going to determine whether the number is positive or negative, diba? Or yeah, we're going to determine whether the number is positive or negative. So we're going to create an integer variable. Let's call it num. All right, and then we're going to let the user enter the value. So we'll tell the user to enter a number, and then save it to as again save num, and then we'll set the condition if kung ang gi-enter sa user is more than or equals to 1, then it will say positive, or else it's gonna be negative, right? That's very simple, yes or no, or true or false na statement. So if num is greater than or equals to 1, it will say the number entered is positive, a positive number. Sakto ba? Sakto ba
Yes,
kung
sir.
condition?
Yes, sir.
Nga, more than 1. If more than 1 na siya, more than or equals to 1, positive yun na siya. Bisag kung saan nabira ba sa kay more than 1, it's positive. However, if may butang taog let's say 0 or any other number aside from that, I think 0 sa. Is 0 positive number ba ang 0?
Positive, negative, sir.
Okay, let's check. Positive numbers are greater than 0 di guys. Okay? So ang 0 is also included for positive numbers according to Fulton's
Wala
quiz
siya.
or
Wala siya equilibrium, wala siya.
alright. So let's set it to 0. So any number starting from 0 is positive. That's according to Google Test. Lahi lagi kay nay usa rin neither positive or negative.
Yes, sir. Pwede siya ma-negative, pwede siya positive.
Alright. So 1 na lang ta, focus on tag 1. So if we enter tag 0, may mo. Okay. We're going to create a separate condition for 0 entirely. Alright? So kana lang, we will start all the positive numbers from 1 and then to infinity. That's all positive. So else if, okay, we're going to create another na lang for else if num is equals to 0, again, we'll use equals, duwa ka equals kung we want it to be absolute equal value, di ba? So if equals to 0 yun siya, it will say 0 ito? 0 is neither positive or negative. So kung mo enter tag 0, it will say positive or negative number. Okay. Alright. Or else, if mo enter tag any other number aside from 1 and above or 0, then it will say you entered a negative number. Alright, and then sakto ba? Then return 0.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so okay, let me save it right here. It's called nested. Karon wala pa tayo nested, but this is how we usually do our conditional statement, diba? We have if, else, if, and then
Yes,
else.
sir.
Alright, so if we're going to run it, it should, okay. We're going to compile and run it. Hold on. Let's say, for example, it will enter any number. Let's say 3, then it will say the number entered is a positive integer. And then if we're going to, let's say 0, then it will say 0 is neither positive or negative. Integer dapat na, but it's okay. Alright, so however, if we're going to, let's say, enter -1, you entered a negative number. Diba? So we have three statements that we, three conditions rather, that we try to execute, and they work just fine because basically that's how we do our if, else, if statement. Now, what if once ma-determine nato nga ang number is positive, we are going to check whether how many digits there are. Okay? So we will be using nested if, but only the nested if will only be executed if the first statement, the parent statement, remains true. So that means if the number that atong number nga gi-enter is more than or equals to 1, then it will check how many digits there are. So therefore, we are going to create a condition. So let's say, for example, or a nested condition rather. So if, that's if inside another if. Let's say, for example, if num is, let's say, less than 10, pila ka digits go na if less than 10?
9.
Pila ka digits ba if less than 10?
1, 1,
1 lang. Alright, so it will say you entered a 1
Single digit.
number, or ano lang, nagutang mo na. Alright, so let's try this. So again, this will only be executed if true ni siya. Pero kung false ni siya, then kani wala ra po, di ra po siya i-run. Do you follow?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so let's try. Let's save that and then execute compile and run. So let's say, for example, we entered 3. Okay, so we know this is a positive, therefore katong nested if will also be executed, and it will say, alright, the number entered is positive, and then you entered a 1-digit number. Okay, let me arrange this real quick. Let's add a /n. Let's try it again. Para nindot pa na. Okay, again, going back, let's enter 3. First, it will say you entered, the number you entered is a positive number, diba? That's what we did. That's the first condition. Kana? But then, since this is
Yes, sir.
true, giran po niya ang nested if, which is if the number is less than 10, it will also say you entered a 1-digit number. Okay? So since ang 3 is less than 10 man, therefore this nested if is true. That's why giran niya. Hold on. Okay, wait, it's okay. Alright, what if we entered a number which is more than 10? What do you think will happen? Let's say, for example, we will enter 12. Unsa siguro may tabo based on what we did so far? It will only say
Entered
the
positive.
number entered is positive number. Nganong wala man niya gi-display ang ikaduha?
Greater than 10 man siya, sir.
Okay, since it's greater than 10. So how do we fix it? Nga gananta nga if more than 10, napoy lain nga mo display.
Else if lain, sir. Sa nested.
Alright, so we can use, for the meantime, let's try else that. Alright, so that means if we enter any other number aside from less than 10, then it will automatically, we'll say, \n, you entered more than a number with more than 1 digit. Okay, ano lang sa simple ra kaya to ang mga statements. Alright, so let's try it again. Execute, compile, and run. So again, we'll try 13. It will say the number entered is a positive number, so that's true, still true. Kani. Alright, but then since 13 is greater than 10, then it says iyan giran, which is you entered a number with more than one digit. Okay, do you follow, guys?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So what if, okay, let's try else if. Actually, I forgot if it's working, but let's see. Let's try. So if it's 2 digits, then it will say you entered 2-digit number and so on. We'll try that, okay? And let's see if it works. So we'll add another else if here. And let's create a condition that says kung ang number nga itong i-enter is less than 100, that means from 11 to 99, it will say COUT you entered a 2-digit number, integer dapat ito magamit of number when it comes to programming. See, okay lang na. Alright, let's check, let's save it, and to be honest, I'm not really sure just yet, but we'll try. More than 2. Compile and run. Let's say, for example, we will enter 13. 24 na lang. Kaya mo na enter. Then it will say the number entered is a positive number still. That's the first condition. And then it says you entered a 2-digit number. Let's check. So first is iyang gi-execute ang unang nga condition. And then after the execution, you check niya ang number. If the number less than 10, we have the number is 24. Is 24 less than 10?
Dili, sir.
Dili. So therefore skip that. Let's check the next statement. Is the number less than 100?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Therefore, i-execute niya ang you entered a 2-digit. Alright? So again, the nested if statement kani will only be executed if the first condition it remains true. So what if we enter, let's say, if we entered, let's say, 0, alright? So, dili na po siya dili na po niya i-run ang nested if. It's because wala man siya. Giskipan man niya ang first if statement. Therefore, it proceeded to the else if, which is 0 is neither positive or negative. So, again, the nested if statement will only be executed if the parent, I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but ang original nga if statement remains true. Okay? Do you follow?
What if 100, sir? Ang enter.
100 sa 100. Okay, kanatan 3 mo determine og 3-digit na siya.
Yes, sir.
Alright. It's the same case. We'll add another else if na po. And okay, can you help me out here? Unsa may butang unsa condition nako? Num should be
Greater than 100.
less than 1,000.
Pwede.
Okay, kung less than 1,000, that means from 101 to 999, that's 3 digits, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Alright, and then cout, let's say, \n, you entered a 3-digit integer. That's test. Let's say that. Execute, compile, and run. Let's say, for example, 555. Alright, first is it check the first condition that says the number entered is a positive integer, and then you entered a 3-digit integer. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Alright, Anthony Rosales, do you have any question?
Sir, wala ra lagi kagabutag equal to.
Okay, unsa ganito, kanus agad mo gamit og equals to, guys? Pitan, greater than or equals to? Anyone? Alright. So then the reason why we are not using equals to because diba gamiton na nato ang equals to if we are trying to determine whether the number is, for example, greater than, okay, hold on, let me write it here so we can determine what's the difference between greater than or equals to and then just plain greater than. So let's say for example natay duha ka number 2 and 2 to 18. Ano? Hold on. For example, number num is greater than or equals to ano na unsay kalahian sa number is less than 10, less than or equals to 10, and number is sorry. Okay, unsay kalahian sa num is less than or equals to 10 or number less than 10. So let's check. If ang number nato is 3, is this statement true?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how about this? Is this true?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right, so that's true. However, if our number is, let's say, 10, is this statement true?
Yes, sir.
How about this?
Sir.
Dili, sir.
Dili na siya. It's because our number
Equal.
is either less than or equals to, meaning it could be either less than the number itself or equal the number itself. Now, if we without the equal, meaning we only have one option, which is to check that the number should be less than the number itself. Okay? So, that's why in our example, the reason why wala tani buhat of negative equals to because we are trying to determine kung ang number nato is less than has 1, 2 or 3 digits. Now, if buhaton ako ani, let's say for example, if buhat ko equals ana. So if number is less than or equals to 10, therefore if ang number nga kung enter is 10, i-execute niya ni. But we know that number 10 is not 1 digit, right? Pila ka digit ang number 10?
2 digits.
So digit na siya, diba? So mausap na ang algorithm sa ato ang program. That's why we only use
So, may
less
mo siyang
than
quote, sir. So, in kaso kung usbon siya, sir, may mo siyang quote greater than or equal to 9.
greater than or equal to 9. Oh, pwede po. Pwede po natong usbon. If ganahatag katong duha, sakto. That's very good. So if ganahatag nga katong duha ka operator itong gamiton, let's say na equals to, then that's true. We can use number greater than or equals to 9. Okay? Pero ang problema mo gud ani, usahay mag-conflict. Na tendency nga mag-conflict ang iyang logic. It's because, let's say for example, then for else if, ay sakto day, okay na day. For the second one, for us to get 2 digit, ang sa ato ibutan? 3 digit.
99.
99. Alright. It's also, this is going to be the same thing as well. Depende na ninyo, unsaon ninyo pag create ang algorithm. Just make sure that the algorithm will, ano ba ganing, same nagyapan ni algorithm ba? Ang logic sa inyong program will still be the same. Then you can either use katong kanina or this one. So for the num1, so let's try. Let's test if this works. Let's compile and run. Let's say for example, if it's tayo sa amrag save na lagi ni. Hold on.
Less than sign lagi, sir.
Okay. Sa ikaduha nga else if this is going to be less than, right?
Less than,
Less
sir.
than 999. Less than or equals to 999 for us to get 3 digits. Alright, let's say that, compile and run. Let's say for example, if we'll enter 2-digit number, let's say 18, 16 na lang, then it will say, alright, you entered 1 digit, let me close this. Okay.
Sir, murag less raman na tanan, sir. Less than or equal to.
Abito sa less than or equal sa to. Sakto. Very good. Less than or equals to 99 para for us to get the number of exact digit number. So let's try again. Let's say for example, it will say, sa ipang-close na ako ng mga terminals guys. Okay. Alright. Hopefully this will not cause any error. Let's try. Enter a number, let's say 16. It will say you've entered 2-digit integer. Let's try it again. Okay, nagbagood na akong laptop. Kadali lang. Nagbagood na akong laptop. Alright. Execute, compile, and run. Let's say 2, 3, 4. It will say you entered a 3-digit integer. Alright, so basically it would be totally up to you which condition you're going to write. How you're going to write your condition, just make sure that the logic will still be the same. Okay, next. Okay, another example. This program will display if a person is a child, a teen, or an adult. So, our condition is, kung ang age is, alright. Okay, kanus ana to tawgo na to of child if the age is less than or equals to 30. Kung ang age sa tao is less than or equals to 18, in this case, let's call it child. So let's create our our variables. So if ang age is, okay, for child it should be child, a teen, or an adult. So 12 na lang, from 1 to 12, that's child, and then teen is for 13 to 19, and then adult is 20 and above. Alright, so let's say, for example, this is our condition that, hold on. Alright, okay, and then let's say for if, kung atong gi-enter is, let's say, less than 1, then it will say, it will say, kuan pa, man, baby or infant. So if less than 0, less than 1, then it's going to say
Font, sir.
infant.
Okay.
Ano lang. Alright, so we're going to create a program that will display if a person is a child, a teen, or an adult. So, therefore, kung it's less than, lisoda po ni, kuan man siya, murag dili siya mo make sense. Let's have another example na lang. Kani, adulthood na lang. The different stages of adulthood. Kani. So, if ang age nga itong ibutang is if it's greater than 20, okay, kani, the stages of adulthood. So, first is we have early adult, okay, is from 20 to, unsa man?
Young adult dagay, sir.
Yeah, young adult sa bitaw, young adult dapat. Ano man na? Young adult, let's set the young adult from 20 to, so kano sa man kutob? Unsa yung ganahan? Nga taw
39.
39?
What?
Sige, 39. So from 20 to 39, it will say that's young adult. So ba? Mura ang young adult dapat 20 to 29?
Yes, sir. 20
Alright.
plus, sir.
Okay, 20 to 29. All right. And then next, ang sunod sa young adult, middle age adult. Sakto ba? Middle age adult. Sakto ba, guys? If sagad rin ko ani sulat-sulat ko is from 30 to unsa man? 30 to unsa ko to ang middle age? Kansa ko to bang middle age, guys?
On 49. What are it?
Ay patasan na lang nato atong young adult. Mo na lang nato nga 39 na lang. 39. And then ang atong middle age is 40 to 59. All right? And then senior adult. Senior ba na siya? Or late or senior age lagi? That is 60 and above. All right? And then if mo enter tag any number before 20, then it will say dili pa siya adult. May siyang young pa siya. Tara na to young. All right, so that's gonna be our condition. Let me put it somewhere. Please help me, ko na lang. Please remind me kay mo pa to speak a screen. So again, if going back, young adult is 20 to 39, middle age is 40 to 59, and then senior adult is 60 and above. So Do you want to take a screenshot? Kami mo namin. It's okay. We're just going to finish this program, guys.
Wait lang, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Alright, tiwason lang nato ning last example and then we will end our discussion. Okay, as unsin very happy. Okay na?
Good, sir. Okay na, sir.
Alright. So let me erase everything. So again, we will. Okay, let's change it to age, and then we will let the user enter your age. Let's call it age, and then CN age. Alright, so let me erase all of this. So the first condition is if the age is equals to from 20 to 39. So let's start. If age is greater than or equals to 20, then it will say
Young adult.
okay, see out young adult. Alright, and then else if no, not else if, but if less than, so we have else. What if ni enter siya number less than 20? Then we'll say young. Just young, wala pa siya adult. Young lang. So again, our first conditions are if ni enter tag number which is 20 and above, they are considered adult, diba? And then if less than 20, then it will say suman ato'y butang, young lang.
Teenager, dagay, sir.
Teen lang, sir.
Teen. Teen, sakto. Alright, ana lang. Alright, so inside our first condition, dito na to i-break down ang stages of adulthood. So we're going to create our first nested if ang age is less than, unsa lang ganito? 39, then unsa tawag niya? Young adult. So butan lang nato rin adult. And the first one will say if less than 39, it will say unsa lang ganito, guys? Young adult. Alright, and then another condition is if ang age niya is 40 to 59. Therefore, unsay atong condition nga buhaton?
Middle
Less
age.
than.
Right.
Less than 59. That means from 40 to 59. Diba? Kay sunod sa 39 is 40 man. So less than 59, that means 40 to 59. It will say middle age adult. Butang na itong /n. Andun na lang. You are adult. You are an adult. You are
Pag mga semicolon, sir. To.
Yeah, thank you. Alright. So, what if 60 and above? So, we will have another else if or else lang. Pwede po tag else kaya wala na may lain na, di ba? So, else,
Sorry.
then it will say
Senior.
senior. You are a senior adult. Sakto ba na? Bahala na.
Older adult, dagay, sir.
Ay, okay na. Kaya mag-uol mo na uban good tabog on good. Alright, let's save that. And let's test. Let's see if it's working. Sakto ba? Alright. Okay. So first is we'll try to run it with less than 20 nga age. Let's see, for example, if 18 pa siya, then it will say you are teen. Diba? Sakto ba? Skip siya because for example, ang age natin is 18. Is 18 greater than or equals to 20? Guys?
No.
No. Isuga lang ito. Alright. So, therefore, dito siya sa else. Okay. So, let's try again. Oops, sorry. Kadali lang ha. Kaya nasa ko click. Okay. Let's compile and run. Let's say we'll enter 21. Alright. It says here, you are an adult. unsa nga classic adult? It says here young adult. Let's test. Our age is 21. Is 21 greater than or equals to 20? True.
Yes, sir.
All right. And
Yes,
then
sir.
after, since true man na, i-check na niya ang nested if. Let's check. Is 21 is less than 39?
Yes, sir.
True. Therefore, it says here
Yes, sir.
young adult. All right. Last, let's test if it's more than 60. Let's say 65. 65 na yung edad. Then it will say you are an adult still, but it says here you are a senior adult because it's more than 59 already.
Sir,
Alright.
kasi kanang else, sir, nested else if, sir, less than or equal to 59.
Less than 59. Pito sa, pwede po, less than or, because ang mahitabo, kung inaniyo na to, kung 59 na itong i-enter, may mo na po siyang senior, di ba?
Senior.
Alright, that's true.
Oo.
Okay, that's good. That's very good observation. So here, in this case, we'll call it very good. Less than or equals to 39. Alright, so that's the same thing. If we're going to run it, if we enter 39 or 59, it will, for 39, it will say young adult. For 59, it will say middle age. Alright, so do you have any questions, guys? That'll be all for today.
None, sir.
Okay, so for your assignment, usa lang, then para sa atong online class activity online for our face-to-face class about sa ato ang katurang about sa logical operators. But for your assignment, here's what you're going to do. You're going to write a program that will greet a person according to time, their name, and gender. So use nested if, else statement. Refer to the following condition. So here's the condition. If male siya or female, okay, first you're going to check whether the gender is male or female. Alright, so I'm hoping that dili ko makakause of mga conflict with regards to gender. This is just an example, guys, okay? Because kung ba kayo kanang gender karong panahon na, uy, dili ra na daghan pang genders. Pero kanilang for this example. So if male siya or female, if male, and then check the time. After you check if whether male or female, check the time. If it's morning, afternoon, and evening. Then if it's morning, male, then it will say good morning, sir, and then enter the name. You may enter your name na lang. And then if it's afternoon, it will say good afternoon, sir. And then evening, then it will say good evening. However, if it's female, and then morning, it will say good morning, ma'am. If afternoon, it will say good afternoon, ma'am. And if evening, it will say good evening, ma'am. Nagets ra ang assignment?
Yes, sir. See-in lagi ako na, sir.
See in, see out lagi ako. Okay, let me erase the deadline. Wala nila. Ang deadline is I'm going to give you 1 week. So what's 1 week starting today? That is basta 1 week ikan today. I cannot open my calendar because naka full screen to. So, unsa inyong buhaton una? First is your first condition is, okay, let me just give you a hint. So if, okay, hold on. Tagana ta hint para madali niyo assignment. So first condition is check the gender. So condition 1 is if gender is equals to male, ana. Alright, and then second, else, so that's for female, ana. Then the next thing that you're going to do is the time. So basically, ang unang pangayoon ninyo is ang gender. You can either use M, F, or depending kung saan yung gamiton. So ang input ninyo is gender. And then, next is time. So that you can determine whether if it's morning, afternoon, or evening. So nakagama mo tag example sa una of morning from 6 to 11:59, and then 12 to 6 p.m. that's afternoon, and then 6 p.m. and beyond that's evening, di ba? Nakagama na taana nga program before. Guys, nakagama na ba tag ka na good morning, good afternoon, good evening na program last time?
No, sir.
Nakagama
Sir,
jud.
sir.
Nakagama jud.
Ano, sir? Ano?
Nakagama jud. So, just use whatever knowledge that you learned from that, and then you just have to add the nested. So, ang nested ani is kaning time. Ang nested nga condition ang time for both male and female. Alright? Now, a question about assignment?
Ang nested, sir,
Ano
isang
po?
time.
So, this would be your katong if and else. gender, male or female,
Ah.
and then nested ang time.
So may tabuan na sir ang male mahimo siyang if then else if ang female.
Pwede. Pwede mong hinyoon na yung ano dyan. First is if, and then else ang female. And then after na-check na ninyo ang if, for example, male ang gipili, then mo gama kag in nested if for morning, afternoon, and evening. Okay? Same thing with
Okay.
else nimo. Again, pwede ta maka-add og nested for both if, else if, and else. So sa inyong else, pwede gama na pumuglaing nested for morning, afternoon, and evening.
Okay. Sabi mo, dili pwede mo wag na sa else if.
Pwede. Pwede kag sa else if, pwede pun sa else, pwede sa if ang nested.
Kanang nested sir pwede sa else sir. Pwede pa na sa else.
Pwede.
Okay sir.
Alright. So again, just to give you a hint, this will be your if. Mao ni ang if, mao ni ang else. And all of this would be nested if. And then all of these will be nested. Muna hint na akong ihatag ninyo, and hopefully you'll be able to create it before next week. Same day today next week. Alright? If
Kuan sir, kaning pwede nga alamang minimog like fixed jud nga time unsala ng morning sa afternoon evening.
Okay, that's good. Sure. Hold on. Let me erase all of these. So, ang morning is 6 a.m. to 11:59, di ba? That's morning.
Yes sir.
All right, and then 12 noon, 12 p.m. to let's say
5:59.
5:59 p.m. That's afternoon, and then 6 p.m.
11:59.
to 5 in the morning. Yung what if kan? Dili na lang ang yung good morning gikan na lag 11. Gikan na lag 12 o 1. 12 a.m. na lang. 12 o 1. 12 a.m. Okay, let me erase that. Eraser. Hold on. So, inyong morning is ano lang, kahit tulo man akong gipagama. So, 12 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. That's morning. Ikagtong gabi about untong tutok morning. Then 12 p.m. to 5:59 p.m. That's afternoon. 6 p.m. and beyond. That is to 11:59 p.m. That is evening. And unsa gani nga format inyong gamiton ani?
Military time sir.
24 hours.
or
Make sure to use 24
Yes, sir.
hours. All right. Okay, and that's it. So if you have any questions, just let me know, or you can also send directly to our GC if na may question while you're doing this, and then I'll try my best to help you as well. Okay?
Sir, di raman lagay butang error sir.
Butang error. For example, ni-enter siya o ni-enter ka o ay butang na lang yung error na lang. Okay, what if male or female? So kanin mo else if ninyo ni else if, and then else magama mo some kind of error. Let's say na-enter siya og dili male, na-enter siya og lain. Let's say na-enter siya og Carabao diha. Alright. So that's else. Alright, so create an error message for your gender, and then create an error message for your time. Let's say for example na-enter siya og 2500, dili naman na siya oras. Nice, sorry na erase na ko. Enter siya 2500, dili naman siya oras. So create an error message as well. Alright?
Okay. So pila ang mong output sir?
Okay. Sa new screenshot, output for this. Kana. And then sa error message put, naman the error so 1, 2, 3. So 3 ka error message, usa dire. And then usa pud sa time, and then here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 outputs guys.
sir ang i-input sa kuan kaning military ay 24-hour format or dili.
24 hours yung gamiton para mas I think that's the best way to determine a time.
Ang input sir
Military
24
time.
Japan.
Kana ba 24 hours pa format?
Okay sir.
Alright, any other questions guys? Kato maglibog, don't you worry. Magkita man tarong this coming Monday. If na may maglibog, ganahan mo ka ng actual nga help from me, pwede pa ninyong kuha ninyo, dalon nyo dito po. Pero, lahi atong activity sa face-to-face guys, okay? Lahi atong face-to-face activity. Pero just in case you want to ask something about the assignment, you can also ask me as well. Alright, so if there are no more questions, kindly turn on your cameras one last time. And thanks so much for attending and staying this long. This will do one bitani, tibok semana bitani attendance. Okay, kindly turn on your cameras. If makita na nyo ito ng classmate, kindly take the screenshot because right now it's still loading on my end. Alright, Jaira, Abilia, Gideon, Rene, Bartolome, Kurt, Joseph, Clinton, kindly turn on the cameras.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay. Alright. I'll see you guys Monday. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
See you
Thank
on Monday, sir.
See you.
Pwede na mo, sir.
Pwede na. Pwede na, guys. Bye-bye.